Okay, we should be ready to go, Kelly. Oh, sorry, I'm talking over you already.
No, I was going to say, as you were hitting live, who goes first? So, hello, everyone. We are live.
Okay, we should be ready to go,
gosh.
Kelly. Oh, sorry. No, that's okay. That happens. Just hit pause.
I'm going to say, as you were hitting I thought I had the volume turned off. So, here we are. Hi, everybody.
Yay.
We're live, and I am over here making all kinds of technical chaos. So I think we're all set and ready to go. If you lose me, I'm just letting you know right now, a huge thunderstorm just rolled in about 2 minutes ago, and I thought, wow, what great timing. So if you lose me, that's why, but I will be back, I promise. I am so thrilled, guys, that you have all showed up live with us. And if you're watching on the replay, that's just as cool. So I know not everyone could make it. So thank you for showing up wherever you are. And it's so cool to see all the different locations in the chat of where you are tuning in from tonight. So if you're just joining us right now, please go ahead and tell us where you are tuning in from, because that is so much fun. And a little side note, I would love to know, what was your high temperature today? Because it has been so crazy hot here in PA. I'm actually quite thankful for this thunderstorm, other than the fact that it might completely whack out my internet. But we need a major cool down here. So I would love to know, how hot was it in your neck of the woods? Because it was, well, the high today actually wasn't that bad. It was 91, but it was the humidity that was killer.
I think it was about 95 here today, but I'm in Denver, so it's a dry heat, which is nice.
I would love to experience that Colorado heat. I have no idea, because here it's just, you feel it on your skin all day long. So the glow, I always have a glow in the summer. It's not my makeup. It's the humidity. I tried to tame the hair before we went live. So anyway, guys, if you are just hopping on now, if anyone could maybe comment, or maybe I'll comment in the chat to refresh if you don't see us yet. If somebody could just say, hey, refresh if you don't see the video, that would be fantastic. And to do our official introductions now, I'm just curious about, 106 in Arkansas. Wow, 30 Celsius. I have to admit, I am not savvy the Fahrenheit Celsius conversion. 98. Okay, you guys are making me feel better. At 91 feels low now that I'm seeing what other people are saying.
People said 110 somewhere.
Okay, but I have no air conditioning on the floor that I'm on right now, so that
I don't either. So my glow is natural as well.
Seriously? Yeah. So we have air conditioning on the other 2 floors, but this one not. So I'm just gonna do a little feminine fan here. All right, awesome. I'm so glad to hear that we are not alone in this heat wave. All right. So, official introductions, here we go. I'm assuming that if you're here, you probably already know me, but if off the chance that you just met me and you're not sure, I'm Kelly, and I'm the Chief Executive Cheerleader for the Teacherpreneur Tribe. It's my mission, my passion, and my purpose to help creative teacherpreneurs and graceful girl bosses just like you build your brands and balance your life. So if you want to get to know me even more, you can hop over to my home base, which is kellyelena.com. So tonight we're actually celebrating the last night of our blog camp, which has been so much fun over the last 5 nights. We have been hanging out on Facebook Live over in the group. It's been great to see so many of you there live and so many replay viewers. And Lacey was so gracious to pop in and answer so many of your questions in the comments. And so I hope you took her up on that offer, because that was amazing, guys. How often do we have guru bloggers visiting our group? not every day, right? So that was fantastic, and she gave so many great links. So if you did not get to catch all of the episodes, please go back. All you have to do is search. Not everyone knows this. There's a search bar at the top of the group, and all you have to do is type in #blogcamp, and you'll be able to find all of those replays. So valuable stuff just waiting for you to access right there. So tonight's the last night. It's the big night. It's the one I'm the most excited about because Lacey gets to teach. Yay! I've been on Fairmat for 5 nights, and I'm so thrilled to pass that off and let Lacey do the major teaching tonight. You guys are in for such a treat. She's such a great teacher. She knows her stuff, and she's going to provide so much value tonight. You just have no idea. So please stick around the entire time. She's going to be here answering questions at the end, so definitely hang on for that. And if you have to watch The Bachelorette while you're watching us, just make sure you're doing like awesome double tasking right now. So
no way, TiVo. I'm way more important than The Bachelorette.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh my God, Laura says that she had her baby on Friday during blog camp, but she's here now breastfeeding. Laura, you're my hero.
Dedication, all the bonus points.
Right.
Laura.
Yes, we want to see pictures of the baby in the Facebook group, okay?
Yes, please. Oh, I had no idea. How exciting. Yes, that is so cool. So to give a little bit more of an introduction for Lacey, if you don't know who she is. So she's a friend that I met through another friend, and I'm so glad that I did because what an amazing expert at blogging. I have been learning so much from her, and I know that you will too. So today she's known as a blogging expert. In the past, she's worked as both a copy editor and an award-winning journalist. She's been hired as a professional ghost blogger for several well-known online entrepreneurs, some that you probably know. And today, she primarily helps small business owners like you and myself to help us find our blogging voices and plan content that helps us increase our sales. And what could be better than that? So it's really my extreme honor to introduce you to Lacey Boggs, the creative brains and beauty behind the Content Direction Agency. So you can find her over at lacyboggs.com. But tonight, we have the incredible honor of learning from her live. So this is the best part where I get to hand the wheel over to Lacey to do the teaching tonight. And I will be sitting here with you guys learning right alongside you. And I'm going to be manning the chat box. So ask your questions as we go, and I will take notes too to make sure that if anything comes up that we can address that at the end or pause and answer things kind of as we go. So, Lacey, it's all you.
Thank you. That was an amazing introduction. That was really great. Thank you very much. So just a couple quick things before we get started. If something wonky happens with the video, usually refreshing your page will fix it. Otherwise, you can also click inside the video box. There should be a link to YouTube. And so if you're having trouble watching it on my site for any reason, you should be able to click through to the YouTube site and watch the Google Hangout through YouTube as well. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what else to say. Let's just get started, shall we? We're gonna see the infinite monkey screen for just a second here while I switch over to my slides. And then
good.
There it is, and then we will play. All right, can everybody see my title screen here? Okay.
It looks
so
to me.
All right, great. So today we are going to be talking about the 5 W's of your blog's editorial calendar, and you guys are all teachers, so probably a lot of you teach the 5 W's at some point or another, but that's the who, what, when, where, why. So that's what we're here for today. Kelly set me up so amazingly by doing this blog camp for so many days, and she got you guys really thinking about, you know, what you're blogging for and why why you want to blog for your business and so on and so forth. And so that has been incredibly helpful. Thank you, Kelly. And I hope she also got you guys really excited about the possibility of blogging for your business. I saw a couple of questions about replays. There will be a replay. It is generally a little bit blurry during the live version, just because of bandwidth issues, so it's not your computer, but there's nothing that you really have to read. I'll be reading everything out to you, plus there's also going to be a replay, so you shouldn't have any problems. So tonight what we're going to learn is your 5 W's of creating your editorial calendar. We're going to talk about the #1 mistake I see small business bloggers making over and over again. And then I'm going to talk about the power of working backwards to plan your content, which might sound a little funky, but it's true. And P.S., I hope y'all noticed, I do not look like this every day of the week. My hair was all fuzzy today, but we're going to pretend I do, okay? So just pretend. So,
you really could be a model, though.
Oh,
Lacey,
so
you beautiful.
Yeah, 2 hours in hair and makeup, and that's what you get. Anybody could be a model after that. So since you guys don't really know me too well, I thought we would start out, instead of doing one of those boring, like 15 minutes, here's my rags to riches story, which P.S. I don't really have. I thought maybe we would just play a game. And so we're going to play 2 truths and a lie. And if you guys have never played that as kids, basically what it is I'm going to give you 3 statements, and you're going to guess which one is the lie. 2 of them are true, 1 of them's a lie. You want to try to guess which one is the lie, okay? So the first statement is, I wrote the entire 6th book of the Harry Potter series longhand on yellow legal pads in my downtime at a supremely boring job. Now, when I've used this before, everybody's like, you're not J.K. Rowling. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, I wrote my own version of the 6th book of Harry Potter, 110,000 words, longhand on yellow legal pads to keep me sane during a boring job.
Wow.
Okay, 2, I applied to a temp agency to be a copy editor with exactly 0 experience on my resume, and they gave me a copy editing test and said I was the only person ever to score 100%. Or I won 3 awards for my food writing from the Society of Professional Journalists here in Colorado, but then my food blog business flopped spectacularly. So if you want to guess, you can put the number 1, 2, or 3. So 1 was the Harry Potter book. 2 was, what was 2? Oh, the temp agency. And 3 is the food writing awards. So which one do you think is the lie? I always enjoy
I think they're all true.
I always enjoy seeing what people think. Okay,
Yeah.
lots of 2s, lots of 3s.
Lots of 2s and 3s. So
Okay.
everyone thinks that you really wrote the Harry Potter book.
Which is good. Oh, there was 1. There's a 1. I saw that. Okay. So actually, so which one is the lie? Actually, you're right, Kelly. They're all true. That's the lie. I'm sneaky. Yeah, you win. They're all true. So I really did spend about a year of my life writing 110,000 words of Harry Potter fan fiction, but I don't consider that wasted time. It really taught me a lot about writing in somebody else's voice, which is now my secret sauce when it comes to ghost blogging for other people. I really did apply to a temp agency here in Colorado with like 0 copywriting experience on my resume, and they're like, oh, you're not a copywriter. And I said, yeah, just give me a test. And I did, and I got 100%.
Whoa.
It wasn't that hard, P.S., I don't think. And the 3rd one, I really did win 3 awards from the Society of Professional Journalists here in Colorado for my food writing. I had a food column in the magazine. And yes, I started a food blog, and yes, I've made like, I don't know, grand total of probably $50 out of it. So that as a business did not do so well. But from that business is how I learned blogging. So when my daughter was born, I decided I did not want to work at the magazine 60 hours a week anymore and never see her. And I decided that I would rather start out on my own. So I struck out as a freelancer. I was doing freelance journalism, and I also started this food blog. And the food blog itself did great. Like, I was getting all kinds of opt-ins. I was getting all kinds of views. I even got one of Martha Stewart's magazines reached out to me and asked me to be a regular guest poster on their blog. But I picked the entirely wrong niche to market to. I was trying to market to moms on a budget. And let me just tell you, most of you probably are moms on a budget, and they don't want to buy much. So that was kind of a spectacular failure, but it did lead me to realize that I was pretty good at the blogging thing. And that was how I hung out my shingle, if you will, as a ghost blogger, and started blogging for some pretty big names in the online internet entrepreneurial space. And at first I thought they were just going to give me the topics and I would write about them. But then they started asking me, like, well, what do you think about this? What should I write about this? What kind of strategy should I do? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just the writer. But I realized that they were kind of expecting that from me. So I took it upon myself to learn everything I could about content marketing, and I spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars taking everybody's course and trying to learn as much as I could about content marketing. And I found some holes because I was coming from a journalism background. And what I realized was that everybody was talking about how to blog to get traffic, but nobody was really talking about the strategy behind what you posted and when. And so I brought over this little tool called an editorial calendar, which I brought from the journalism magazine world. And it helped me to start to see the big picture for myself and for my clients. And that's when I started thinking, aha, maybe there are other people out there who could use this tool as well. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But this is where all the magic happens. So this is my, it's not fancy. You guys all got a link to this in the emails that you got. But if you need it again, if you scroll up to the top of the chat, there's a link. It's just a Google Sheets, Google Excel doc that you can make a copy of and download for yourself. And I'll have a picture of it up, so you don't need to look at it while we're talking, but you can download it later for your own uses. And basically, this is my tool that keeps me on the straight and narrow, that makes sure I always know what I'm writing about, but more importantly, why I'm writing about a particular thing at any given time. And it also helps me make more money, which I will also talk about in just a few minutes. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to kind of go through this and talk about each of the columns and what you use and why. So we're going to do our 5 W's, which is, as you guys know, the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. And our bonus, we're going to talk about the how as well. But we're going to do it in a slightly different order because I'm just tricky like that. And I wanted to put it more in the order of importance. So we're going to go why, who, when, where, what, how. And I had to put this slide in here so I would remember what the order is before I start talking. So again, as Kelly said, if you guys have questions as I'm going along, go ahead and stick them in the chat box, and she will interrupt me with my blessing, and and we'll answer some questions, or you can save them till the end. Either way, whatever you would like to do. So the first one is why. So blogging is really an important tool in your business, but only if you know why you're doing it, right? I think a lot of small business owners get the advice you have to have a blog, but they never really think about why. Why do you have a blog? Why are you talking? You know, or maybe they have some very vague notion. Oh, I want to build an audience. I want to get traffic. I want people to know more about me. I want to promote my stuff. But they don't really have a very concrete notion of why they are blogging. And so in my view, there's actually 2 whys you need to understand. You need to understand why your reader wants to come to your blog. And you also need to understand why you are blogging for your business. So the reason your reader might come to your blog, there's generally 3 main reasons people will read a blog. They come to be educated, inspired, or entertained. So entertained, I usually think of people like Deuce or the Blogess, or just ones you read that are funny and entertaining and amazing. The ones that are inspiring might be more like, who's that gal? Glennon, she's do you know who I'm talking about, Kelly? She's a Christian mom, and she's written books. Anyway, I can't think of her name. That's dumb. I follow like Danielle Laporte and Seth Godin because they're like inspirational business people. And the third one is educational, which a lot of you are going to be in that space because A, you're educators, but also B, you're educating your audience about why they want to buy your products, right? A lot of small business owners fall into that category. So those are your whys for your business. I mean, for your readers. Your why for your business is a little different. So what I'm asking you here is, what do you hope to get out of blogging? And so I'd love if some of you would, yes, Momastery, that's it, Glennon Doyle Melton. Yes, thank you for that person who threw that out there. What I'd like you to do is in the comments, tell me why you're blogging for your business. What do you hope to get out of it? And the more specific you can get here, the better. In fact, if you can attach a number or a metric to your why, that's even better, because otherwise, how do you know if you've actually achieved it, right? It needs to be something you can measure and something you can track. So for me, my why for blogging is that it's how I get people on my email list. It's how I get new people to follow me. And then I tend to be really good at, or pretty good at selling through email. So I sell through email more than anything else. So I want people on my email list so that I can sell more to them. So my big why is getting people to sign up for my email list. And that's a number I can easily track. What would you say your big why is, Kelly?
Oh gosh, I'm taking notes and I'm looking.
I know, I put you on the spot right there. Sorry about that.
My why also would be to gain more email subscribers, and definitely the educational and inspirational components are big for me.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people saying like exposure and promotion. I would challenge you guys to attach a number or a metric to that. So how will you know when you're doing well with exposure? Is it traffic? Is it, page views? Is it something like that? So, just be thinking about that, because what you track grows. And, one of my mentors always says, if you're not tracking it, how do you know if it's working? So the big thing is, I don't want you to be blogging if it's not working for you. And I know that's like heresy, especially coming from a blogging expert. But if it's not achieving a goal for you, it's a waste of your time. And we don't want that. So we want you to blog with a strategy so that it's not a waste of your time. So in your editorial calendar, your big why, I have two columns for why. One of them is a category. So a lot of times people like to break up their blogs by category. So maybe you have several things you talk about. If you sell a couple of different products in your store, maybe you want to dedicate a category to each of those products. Like maybe you sell, science curriculum for this thing and math curriculum for this thing. So you'd have multiple categories. For me, I tend to have categories around my products. That's an easy way to do it. You could also have categories around just general topics you want to discuss. So for example, I had a customer who was a fitness coach. And so she wanted like physical fitness, like workouts, diet, and mindset. Those were her categories. So she wanted to be able to talk about it, those three aspects of her business. The other why column says AIDA, AIDA, and it's not the opera. It actually stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. And that's an old school copywriting formula that I've adapted to really teach you how to blog with intention. So I believe that your blog is like a long-form sales letter or long-form sales page. It's just being dripped out over time. And so if you can assign a particular post one of these four categories, attention, interest, desire, or action, you'll always know what you intend to get from it. So an attention post, obviously, is to get more attention, more traffic. These are the ones that we hope will go viral, that will get lots of clicks, and so on and so forth. An interest post goes into a little more detail, right? It's going to tell them if the attention post says, this thing is happening, the interest will say, and here's why. Desire post does exactly what it says on the tin. It's going to help generate desire for your products. An action either comes in a blog post or maybe in an email after people have signed up for your list, but it actually requests that they take the action. So buy now, click the link, whatever it might seem. So that's AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action. And so those help me understand why I'm writing a given post at a given time. And you'll see what I mean a little better in just a moment as we get through these other columns. So then our number 2 thing is who. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see small business bloggers make. And it's not knowing who they're actually writing to. So I actually had this problem when I started this business. I started out as a ghost blogger. So what I was doing was I was blogging for other people's small businesses. I was getting, relatively successul online business owners, and they would hire me to write their blogs. Well, so what I started out doing was I would blog on my own site about how to blog. And then it occurred to me that the people who were hiring me to blog for them didn't give a flying zucchini about how to do it for themselves. They just wanted me to do it. So I was actually talking to 2 different audiences. You see, I had the people that were actually going to pay me, and then I was writing these blog posts for a DIY audience. And the way I fixed it was to actually end up creating products for that DIY audience. So, I created workbooks and courses and so on to help teach people who didn't want to hire me for whatever reason how to do it for themselves. So that was how I fixed it. But a lot of times small business owners can get stuck, and they may not know exactly who they're writing to, and they may be writing to the wrong audience or attracting the wrong audience. The other thing that could be going on is that you may have multiple audiences. So especially if you are reaching different segments of an audience. Kelly, I'm going to ask you a question. On the Teachers Pay Teachers site, I think homeschoolers can also go on there, right? Is that true, to buy curriculum?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if, for example, you have the 2 audiences, that one of them is teachers in a school setting and the other is homeschoolers, moms looking for curriculum, those are 2 different audiences. They want different things out of your product. So you may choose to write to them a little bit differently, right? You may address the problems they have slightly differently. So I have a who column here. You can see it says audience who. And so for me, when I was writing my food blog, I thought originally I was going to be writing to other moms just like me with young kids. But as I got going, I realized that I was also attracting college kids who wanted to eat organic on a budget, and empty nesters who were on a fixed income but needed to eat healthfully for the first time, maybe because of health reasons. Those were 2 audiences I never intended to attract, but I did. And so if I wanted to, I could use that audience column to help me understand which blog post was going to be directed at which portion of my audience. So if I was going to write, 19 alternatives to ramen noodles in your dorm room, that's great for the college kid, but it's not so great for the empty nester or the busy mom, right? So I might create slightly different content depending on my audience. If you've got your audience nailed down, you really only have one that you want to talk to, you may not need this column, but it's there to help you get some clarity if that's something you struggle with. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of water. Are there any questions yet, Kelly?
I was going to say, can I interrupt for a quick sec?
Yeah, please do.
So, let's see. Kim Fields asked, wouldn't some posts have all components of AIDA, or do you really want to get specific with one at a time?
Okay, so that's a great question. Yes, the answer is yes. You absolutely can do one post with all 4. What I like to do, though, is spread it out over time. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit when we get to the when section and why that's a good idea. But the answer is yes. You absolutely can hit all 4 of those points in one post. And in fact, I like to do that a lot when I'm writing an email, if I'm going to be selling in an email, like announcing a new product, or, you know, you guys may not do the launch model like a lot of us internet people do, but if you're having a sale, doing a promotion, launching a new product, and you want to write a sales email, hitting all 4 of those points in the sales email is a really great idea. So yes, the short answer is yes.
Okay, great. And then I think a couple people were really relieved to hear about the audience issue, because they're finding that they have more than one audience and not sure if that's even a good idea. Can you speak to that a little bit? When you have multiple audiences, like, is that okay, or should you try to narrow down?
So if you find you have multiple audiences, and A, they're all people you want to serve, and B, they're people who want to buy, then I think it's perfectly fine to address them. So they may have different needs, they may have different problems. You can plan out your blog calendar so that if you use that column, you can plan it out so that you're hitting them all equally, right? You're not leaving anybody out, you're not forgetting anybody. I'm seeing somebody's asking, is it annoying to people to have more than one audience? And I think the answer is no. I think as long as you're balancing your content and making sure you're hitting all those things regularly so they don't feel left out, I think that it's not a problem. You know, if I go to my favorite, we'll just use the food blog example. If I go to my favorite food blog and they're talking about, you know, making ramen noodles in your dorm room, I'm just going to click away for today. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm never reading this site again. You know, it's just, I realize that is not for me today. But as long as I come back tomorrow or the next week or whatever it is, and there is content for me, then I'm not going to leave, you know? So I think that that's very good. It's not a problem, and you're not going to annoy anybody. I also get that question, like, are you going to annoy people if you talk about the same thing over and over again? And the answer is no. We always overestimate how much people read our blogs like a book. You know, I think very rarely does somebody read every single post that you write or read your entire blog from start to finish. So they're very rarely going to get annoyed by something like that. It's just more opportunity for you to hit them at the right time. I hope that makes sense. I felt like I was talking off the cuff a little bit there.
No, that made total sense. Cool. And then Gretchen asked, how do you figure out who actually is reading your blog other than just kind of guesstimating from the comments? Yeah, comments are a great way. I would ask. If you can do a little survey, that's always the best way to know. Pro tip about surveys, if you can give them some kind of like little bribe for participating in the survey, that's the best way to get people to actually answer your survey. So if you can give them a little freebie or a download, that's a really good way to get people to participate and actually do your survey. Somebody mentioned Pioneer Woman, Ree Drummond, for having multiple audiences and multiple topics, and that's a really great example. She covers a whole lot of different things, and nobody gets tired of her. Walmart's buying her line of stuff, and she's got a TV show. Everybody loves her, so that's all good. Absolutely. Cool. All right, so we've done why, we've done who, so now we're on to the power of when. So if you only take one thing away from this webinar, this is what I want you to take. So perk up your ears, get out your pen, because the most powerful thing I can teach you how to do is A, plan ahead, and B, work backwards. So what I mean by that is, if you're looking at your calendar, I have 2 columns for when. I have the date that it's actually going to be published, and then I also have a column that says major events. And this is the big difference than most of the editorial calendars out there that I've seen. So what I want you to do is, when you're putting together your editorial calendar, go ahead and fill in all the holidays. If you know, put back to school in there, put, winter break, put last day of school. If you know that, you speak to elementary school teachers and holidays are a big deal, or if you know that you have a particular product or content that's important at a particular time of year, put that in. If you know you're going to run a sale or a promotion at some point, put that in, because the power of this is that you can work backwards from those dates
and create content that will lead people down the path. And by the time you say, click here to buy now, they are super primed and ready to buy. So I don't know how blurry this is, but if you can see on the screen here, I have a cell here that says big sale. And if I knew that I was having a sale on this date, you can tell I made these, oops, you can tell I made these images a long time ago. That says 2014. If we knew that I was having a big sale on that date, that's the day I'm going to ask them to buy, right? That's the day I'm going to say, okay, cart's open, sales happening, 20% off, whatever it is, buy now. If I work backwards from there, well, maybe I want to put some desire posts right before that. So I'm going to write a post about, think how easy your life would be if you had this curriculum already done for you. Think how amazing your life would be if you had these worksheets that are going to help your students really understand this concept. Maybe I would do a case study. Like I took this particular thing into a classroom and they got their test scores went way up, or I took this to this particular teacher and she was so glad to have it and this is what happened. Those are the kind of desired posts you want to have right before you ask somebody to buy. Because if you do that right before, people are going to be like, sign me up, take my money, where do I get it, right? Before you do the desire, you want to hold their interest, right? So you want to say, here's my thinking, here's why this worked, here's why I developed this, here's what you're going to learn from this thing, whatever it might be. And finally, even before that, you want to get as many eyeballs as possible on your sale, right? You want to get as much traffic and as many people as possible looking at your blog so that by the time you actually launch your sale or your promotion or your new product, whatever it is, there will be more people to buy. So the first thing you want to do is that attention post. Those are going to be your clickbait posts like BuzzSumo, where they're like, this one weird trick will help you lose 50 pounds in 3 days. Click here to find out why. It's those kind of headlines. But you want to make sure that you are really grabbing somebody's attention. A lot of times these attention posts will challenge a preconceived notion. So if they think, oh, you have to do it X, Y, Z, and you're saying, no, you can do it A, B, C. And they go, whoa, I have to check that out. That's a great attention post. So this is really the power of this calendar. I have a good friend who is a Pinterest expert, and she regularly does 5- and 6-figure launches, okay? So this gal is not messing around. She'll launch a program and make 5 or 6 figures in one launch. And she was talking to me the other day and she was like, yeah, and sometimes I get so busy with my launch and doing my promotions that I forget to blog. And I was like, Beth, imagine what you could do if you were priming people beforehand. And when she did it, guess what? She nearly doubled her launch because she had primed people leading up to it to be ready to buy and excited to buy. Okay, so this is exactly what we do in like a sales page or a sales letter, except we're doing it over time. So there's nothing cheesy about it. There's nothing like used car salesman about it. It's very organic. We're just giving them the information they need to know to make a purchase. Okay, and we're getting them ready. And so that's really where the power of your editorial calendar comes in. So, you know, if you know you have something to sell for Christmas, 2 or 3 weeks, you don't want to sell it the week of Christmas, right? They need it a month ahead so they can get ready. Maybe they need it, I don't even know, you know, you guys are educators, you know your audience. Maybe they need it 2 or 3 months ahead so they can get ready. But that will help you plan out when you need to be talking about those things. How am I doing here, Kelly? Are there any questions right now? Are we good to go? Uh-oh. I may have lost Kelly. Okay, well, I'm going to move on and assume that you guys can hear me. Can somebody in the chat box let me know that you guys can still hear me? And I'm just going to keep talking. We'll just hope for the best. Maybe Kelly will come back. So we've done your why. We've done your who. We've done your when, right? So the next one is where. I love my little ladies in their bobby socks here. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So one of the dudes in my space, in the blogging space, is Derek Halpern. He runs a site called Social Triggers. And he started out by taking psychological studies and you know, really education, you know, what am I trying to say? Scientific studies, and matching them up to things we experience marketing online. And one of the things he was saying is that you should spend 20% of your time writing content, creating content, and 80% of your time promoting it. Now, I would like you all to just pick yourselves up off the floor, pick your jaws up off your desk, because 80% of your time promoting is pretty crazy. I don't even do that. But I think the point is more that we want to make sure we're not forgetting promotion when it comes to our blogging. I call this the field of dreams problem. So what I mean by that is people used to be able to blog and the audience would just appear. And so nowadays, business owners especially think if I post it, they will come. But the answer is no, they will not. Unless you have a mythical baseball field in your backyard, your audience is not just going to naturally find you. So you have to do some promotion, right? And so I've also included some columns in your calendar so you can start thinking about your promotional strategy way back when you're planning your blog topics. So one of my best promotional strategies is sharing in Facebook groups where you're allowed to share your different your blog posts each week. And so if I have a blog post that I know is going to resonate particularly well with a particular audience, I'm going to make a note of it in my calendar. So I wrote this post a while back called "What 5 Days Alone Taught Me About Work-Life Balance." And I knew that that would resonate really well in my Mama CEO group. So I made a point of putting a note here to say, be sure to share this with your Mama CEO group. Another great thing to think about is like, who else has an audience that would appreciate what you're writing about? So if you know, you guys are so great, you have this amazing community of other teachers that you can work with and cooperate with. If you know somebody else and you're like, wow, I know that her audience would be really interested in what I have to say, make a little note in your calendar and shoot her an email and say, hey, I think your audience would be really interested in this. Maybe you'd like to share it. No pressure, right? You can just do it. And if she says yes, great. And if she says no, no problem. But at least you've made the note, like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I need a promotional strategy for this. I've also included a column for Facebook copy and Twitter copy. You don't have to use these. When you get a little bit further along and maybe you have somebody helping you schedule your social media copy, maybe you want to write this ahead of time just to save time, you can use these columns for that. But again, the tool works best when you work it. So you change up these columns the way you need to. Delete the ones you don't like, change them up, add something new. Maybe you're on Instagram. Maybe, I know Pinterest is big for you guys. So maybe you want to add, like, what's your Pinterest copy going to be for each blog post? Maybe you do it after you've written it. No big deal. You use it the way you need to use it. I just want to really drive home the idea that we do have to do some promotion of our blogs. It's not really going to just happen. People are not just going to show up magically. So, oh, Kelly, are you back? Yay.
I'm back.
Good. Your house didn't get struck by lightning?
Magic. Yeah, close to it, but okay. We're back in action.
Okay, so Megan said, I'm interested specifically in the promotional strategy because it seems often like the readership and followers TPT sellers, oh, of course it moved as I'm reading, TPT sellers get are other TPT sellers. We're great at supporting each other, but we're not buying from one another. So how do you get your blog out of the TPT world into the rest of the teachers? Okay, great question, Megan. So this actually goes back to your audience problem. Okay, so if you are attracting only your own community, who are your competitors, right? We all believe that there's enough pie to go around, but we're technically competitors, right? Then you're probably you're not promoting in the right place, or you're addressing the wrong audience. So if you're writing about how to teach it, you may be just getting, well, actually, I'm thinking about this as I'm saying it. So if you're only getting TPT people, it's probably because that's where you're promoting. So if you're only promoting in like Kelly's group and similar groups, that's the audience. So you need to find places where teachers are hanging out that aren't necessarily also sellers, right? So that you can find that audience, that untapped audience. And so I'm not sure about teachers. I bet there's a bunch of Facebook groups that are just for teachers and not necessarily for sellers. I bet there are maybe professional associations, or maybe there are websites you can guest post on or leave comments on that are professional association type websites for teachers. So I think that it's partly an audience problem. Make sure you're writing not just to other sellers. Make sure you're writing to teachers or homeschoolers or whoever your audience is. And then also check that promotional strategy. Where are you promoting? Are you using, keywords on Pinterest that other teachers would use and not just sellers? So that's my best advice for you there. Okay. I just happened to see that question come up, so if there are others, Kelly, we'll do some Q&A here in just a minute.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so we've done your why, we've done your who, we've done your when, we've done your where are you going to promote it. What the heck are you going to blog about? Right? I know a lot of people stumble into this and they're like, oh my gosh, I sit and stare at a blank white screen and I don't know what to talk about, and nani, right? Okay, so actually what happens is when you get the other parts of your editorial calendar planned out, the what kind of takes care of itself. So, okay, yeah, let me go back and find the editorial calendar again. So if you have, when you're going to post, because your big sales and your big events, right? And you need action, desire, interest, attention posts if you're going to sell something. And you want to talk to homeschoolers this week and elementary school teachers this week. The actual topic that you choose gets narrowed down, right? So if you're selling Christmas worksheets, then what you're going to talk about becomes narrower. If you need to come up with a desire post about Christmas worksheets, well, there's only so many things you can write about, right? There's only so many topics that have to do with Christmas and desire. So what I like to do is in the second tab of the editorial calendar you've got, I just create an idea bank. And basically it's just one place for me to dump all my ideas. This is super important, especially if you're like me and you get ideas in the shower and in the carpool pickup line and in the grocery store and in the most inopportune places. And maybe you scribble them on the back of a receipt or a Post-it note or wherever you can find them. You need to then collect all those and put them in one place so you have them when you need them. And then what I like to do is take it one step further, and I actually go ahead and start categorizing what I think they might be. So what category do they fall into? What am I generally talking about? And then does it feel like it might be an attention, interest, desire, or action post, right? And that way, when I'm looking for what to write about, all I have to do is go sort that document, and I've got a whole bunch of ideas. I actually did this just yesterday, and I was planning out the next 4 months of my blog calendar. I'm going to be selling some workshops, which I'll tell you guys about in just a minute, but I was trying to come up with my AIDA sequence to talk about these workshops. And all I had to do was go to my site, even though the idea for these workshops has only been around for a couple of months, and some of my ideas in my editorial calendar have been around for a long time. I already had almost all of the pieces. I just had to plug them into the puzzle. So it made it so easy. I planned out 4 months worth of blog posts in about half an hour. And this is the power of planning, people. If you write down all those crazy ideas when you have them, and then even take that one step further and categorize them, you will have this incredible resource, and you'll never wonder, what am I supposed to blog about again? You'll never have that moment of writer's block, because you will be having this entire huge long list of ideas, and they'll never let you down. That's my whole goal in giving you this tool, is that you always know what you're going to write about next and why. Okay. So next is the how. I told you this was the bonus. The how how do you do this? Okay, so I've given you the tool. I've given you the bits and pieces you guys need. You can take, if this is enough for you, awesome. Take it with my blessing. I'm thrilled to have been of service to you. If you need a little more help, if you need some more information about how to brainstorm ideas, if you need more information about that AIDA sequence and how to lead people down a path to make a sale, then what I've created is called Content Intelligence Academy. It's a course. It's very short. It's a 5-module course that you can go through at your own pace. And it is here to teach these techniques in more detail. Obviously, I'm already almost running out of time because we've had such a good time tonight. So there's only so much I can say in like an hour on a webinar, right? But and for some people that's enough, and that's awesome, and I love it, and I love being of service. But if you need a little more, that's what this is. And so I've created this for you guys and people just like you. And basically what I go through is exactly how to find your why if you're not so sure. So if back in the why, when I was asking what it is, you're like, I don't know. We go through how to find your why, how to actually select a metric that's going to help you. We go through then how to brainstorm ideas, what I call spying on your ideal customers. You guys are really very well prepared for this because you're in the trenches, a lot of you. You're teachers who are actually teaching, so you know exactly what your ideal customer is thinking at any given point. But I can give you some more techniques for how to spy on them, how to get them to tell you exactly what they want you to blog about. And then we talk about how to fill out that editorial calendar, how to plan ahead, how to do that AIDA sequence in detail. And finally, how to make sure that when you're blogging, you're actually setting yourself up for more sales, okay? So that's what this is all about. I'm gonna tell you just a little bit about it. This is Mariah. She was like one of my star pupils, one of the first times I ran it. She was the fitness coach I was talking about at the beginning. And she was saying that when she first got started blogging, she felt so overwhelmed because she didn't have a plan, a strategy. She felt really disorganized. And she says, if I don't feel organized, I feel paralyzed. I knew I needed something, some sort of calendar, but I didn't know how to start or what to do. That's why I was so thankful to have found your strategy, because it got me unstuck. So no matter where you are in the process, whether you're just beginning or whether you've been blogging for a while, this is designed to help you get unstuck and create that strategy. I also wanted to just share, I am so lucky. I have now had like hundreds of people go through this program, and I get the most amazing Facebook comments all the time. Up there at the top, James, he's actually my accountant, and he bought this and took it. He started his blog, and it says over the last 2 days, I had 140 entrepreneurs sign up for my free course. Tomorrow they get my first paid offer. I'll be static if only one buys. And I think he sold 20 spots for his very first group offer. And it was all done with the AIDA strategy and the strategy I teach in Content Intelligence Academy. Priscilla was like, I have an editorial calendar. The feeling alone was worth it to do this program. Anne said that she got so much from the first module alone. That was the Knowing Your Why. That's the Knowing Your Why module. So getting through that clarity. Lisa said, it literally cut through years of me going in circles in just a few minutes. I mean, that just makes my heart happy that they would say those kinds of things. This is my friend Sarah Greer, and she's actually another copywriter to the stars, kind of like me. She has lots of famous clients that you would probably recognize the name of some of them. And she took it, and it gave her a new way to look at her marketing calendar and lead up to a promotion. So I was so excited that she even another professional copywriter like me got a lot out of my system, because it's very different than everything else that's being taught out there. Alessandra got 6 months worth of blog post ideas planned out and says it's smart, honestly pretty easy to do once you do it, and liberating. I love that. Awesome. And then I just wanted to put a couple of things in here, but like people were saying, maybe it's because I have so many questions, but I feel like the personal attention and consideration has been above and beyond. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. I am in that Facebook group like 24/7. I can't stay away. And so I am always answering questions and helping people out. And we also have office hours once a month when everybody can ask questions and do things like that. So here's the offer. I swear this is not a hard sell, so we're just going to make the offer, and then we'll get into the question and answers. So if you're interested in Content Intelligence Academy, be sure and use that link, the bit.ly/CIA for Teacherpreneurs. That'll take you to the sales page because I'm offering you guys a $100 discount. So it's normally $399. You guys will get to save $100 if you pull the trigger within the next 48 hours, making it $299. The other exciting thing is that, as I mentioned before, I'm doing 4 new bonus workshops that are going to be free to CIA members. So we're going to do, oh gosh, let me see if I can remember all 4 of them. So the first one starts in August. It's going to be how to do JV webinars just like this one that Kelly and I are doing. So how to partner with somebody to do a webinar for their audience, which is the way that I've been able to triple my email list in the last 6 months. So I went from having 1,800 people to 5,000 people in 6 months because of these kinds of webinars, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. The second one is about how to do content upgrades, which is where you add a little freebie that's specific to your blog post, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, like how to set it up in MailChimp. The third one, I swear I'm going to remember, is all about promotion. So we're going to talk about how to promote your blog posts. And the fourth one is going to be how to use swipe files. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a copywriter talking about swipe files, but when you save somebody's emails or website and want to use it as a template for your own, I'm going to do a whole workshop on the best practices for using somebody else's copy, not copying it, not plagiarizing it, but using it as a template, breaking it down, figuring out how did they do what they did, and using that swipe copy. So the deal is, CIA members get those 4 new bonus workshops for free, but I'm going to be selling them to the general public for $79 each. So you get an additional $300 value for free if you go ahead and invest in CIA as well. Plus, we do monthly live office hours in our private Facebook group. And I think Kelly has a little present for you guys too.
I do have a little present because I have taken so many courses. I am admittedly a course junkie. I love me some great courses, and guys, I am in Lacey's course and just loving how simple, how easy, how clear she makes everything. She's such a great teacher. She could go ahead and add that to her resume, I think.
Aw, thank you.
Absolutely, but at the same time, I know what it's like to do the DIY route and to come to that point where like you always have that one question and you're just like, if I could just ask and have somebody guide me through, like I'm so stuck at this one part. So my little bonus that I want to add is I'm just calling it stuck support. So when you come to that moment where you're just stuck, you just have this one question or thing that keeps going around and around in your head, and you're just like, if I had someone to talk this through or give me a little clarity or give me a different perspective and walk me through it, I would be fine. So I would love to be that person for you. So if you join me inside the course, I will definitely be there for you with stuck support. So I can do a half an hour hang out with you on Google where we can chat through it. Or if you love Voxer as much as I do, we can chat it out on Voxer, whatever works for you. But I want to be there as your teacherpreneur buddy who kind of really knows the world that you're in and can kind of help guide you through whatever you get stuck with. So that's my bonus.
That is incredible. So you get me in the Facebook group, like pretty much 24/7. You could always ask questions. And you get
Awesome.
Kelly, who has a much greater understanding of your particular, market and audience and things like that. So that's a really amazing offer, and that's a really great offer, Kelly. Thank you so much. A couple of people are asking about payment plans. There is an option for a payment plan if you click through. It takes it down for 2 payments. So yeah, so if money, you know, the big $2.99 is a barrier for you, there is a payment plan as well. But there was also a question, is this going to be offered again? This is actually what we call an evergreen course. So technically it's always available. If you need to save up your pennies, I totally get that, and it is always available for you. It's always on my site. You can find it and purchase it at any time, but the discount does expire in 48 hours, and it's automatic, so there's no no emailing me at 50 hours and saying, oh, I forgot, because it's an automatic thing. So I can't do anything about it after that.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am happy to go ahead and answer any questions that people may have. There's more information about the course at the link, but also if you guys have questions about the course, I'm happy to answer them here as well. And I think we'll probably switch us back to FaceTiming if you're cool with that, Kelly.
Yeah, that's cool. So a couple questions that I caught when I was able to come back. I know I was trying to tell them, what did I miss when the lights went out and everything in my house? So how often do you post? I think people are curious as far as you yourself, Lacey, how often do you put up a blog post? And also, do you have a recommendation for small businesses in general, or do you think it varies business to business, person to person? What are your guidelines?
Totally. That's a great question. So me personally, I post about once a week. My posts tend to be, if you've looked at any of my posts, they tend to be long and in-depth. So once a week is about all I can handle. I think a good guideline is no less than once a month, because people will forget about you. So if you need to just post something amazing once a month, I'm big on quality over quantity. So it's not about how much or how often you post anymore. It's about how useful, how amazing is it. So you really want to make sure that you've got the quality. If you've got a quality post, you can post as little as once a month, maybe every other week, maybe every week, whatever works for you. But that's my general guideline.
Okay, that's great to hear, because I work with some people who are really into that traffic building and say like, well, the more that I post, the more traffic I'm going to get. So you would say it's really more about the quality than the quantity.
Yes, so I think the what you are going to see, though, is if you post one really great post and then spend the rest of the time promoting it, you might actually get more traffic that way because you're promoting it more. So I guess the answer there is that just posting more does not necessarily equal more traffic automatically. If you're doing other things, it could, but I think it's just as viable to say I'm going to post every other week, and on the off weeks, I'm going to spend my time promoting.
Okay, awesome. That was really, really helpful. So Gretchen asked, how do you walk the fine line between offering help for free and then like doing a sale?
Yeah.
Like how does that work, I guess?
Yeah. So I tend to err on the side of giving everything away. If you've been on my site or if you've looked at my free library, this is just a PS. There is a lot of information, and you could basically get a masterclass in what I teach just from the free information. However, you would have to dig through everything to get it, and it's not, you know, it's not in a linear format. It's not like do this, then do this, then do this, right? The info, most, I would say probably 80% of the information is there. You could do a whole lot just from my free info, but it's not an easily accessible format. So just by putting it in an easily accessible format with here's what you do first, here's what you do next, let me lead you down this path, let me help you in the Facebook group, that adds a whole lot more value to my product, right? So I tend to err on the side of giving away too much or giving away a lot. I don't think there really is a too much these days. The freemium model is very popular in the online circles, so giving away a lot for free. That said, if you want kind of a way to judge, you can give away the why and sell the how, or you can do it the opposite way. Give away the how and sell the why. So that's two ways you can sort of draw a line between what you give away for free and what you sell. I'm just really bad at it.
I don't think there's a bad, like you said. I think it's really like the more you give away, the more people actually want to buy, because they can see all of your knowledge they've gained. I think once they've gained so much from you, they know that what you have is quality and that it's going to be, you know, even more fantastic than everything that you've already shared for free. And I just want to vouch for, if you guys have not gotten into her free resource library yet, like, get in today, tomorrow, yesterday. I mean, it's incredible. I can't tell you how many free resource libraries I have opted in for, because, you know, course junkie, also opt-in junkie. That's me. And I honestly have not seen a free resource library with the massive amount of content that you have anywhere. And I'm in a lot of them.
I mean, I really do try to walk my talk. I'm here to support you. The products are really kind of just a bonus, a way to make it easy, but I'm here to teach and support you guys. So I try to walk my talk. Yeah,
absolutely. It is filled, guys, filled with great. So go, get it, grab it, get in there. Rachel's asking, will you send out the link to the CIA course again?
Yes, I will find it and send it to you right now.
And Carrie was so sweet. I was looking for the link to the editorial calendar, and I wasn't finding it, and she grabbed it and posted it. So guys, if you don't have the editorial calendar link, just scroll up a little bit. Thank you so much, Carrie, for being so super helpful. Really, really, really appreciate it. So I'm looking through, are there any other questions? Guys, feel free to ask. I'm trying to see if we missed any.
I hope you guys, my dog is outside the bedroom door whining. She wants to go in. I can't hear it too loudly. If you wonder what that strange noise is.
No, I can't hear the dog. And hopefully you guys didn't hear the thunder and lightning either.
So I just want to say that you guys have been amazing. Thank you for participating. If there are more questions, I'll take them, Kelly. But so like I said, you guys have 48 hours from now to make that quick decision discount, and that's what gets you the $100 off. You'll get the 4 bonus workshops that are coming up in the next 4 months, and that's a $300 value. And then you also get the Stuck session with Kelly, which I don't even know how much that is worth, but probably a lot, because she's awesome. So, you know, keep that in mind. And there is a payment plan. You just have to click on the link, and there's an option on the payment page. Somebody asked about the editorial calendar being view only. There are directions at the very top that tell you how to make a copy. You can either save it as a Google Doc or as an Excel document.
Yeah, and I saw another question, and then it popped down to the bottom and I lost it. Oh, there it is. Diane. Oh my gosh, it keeps popping. Every time a comment comes in, it pops down to the bottom and then I lose it. Okay, Diane wanted to know, do either of you have information? Oh, I lost it again. I think it was something about email newsletters. There it is. Do you have information about setting up an email list on your blog and then doing newsletters?
My favorite is, for people just getting started, is MailChimp. You can do it for free to start out, and then as you get more sophisticated or have more people on your list, you pay by how many people you have on your list. It's a pretty good deal. they make it very easy, and they actually have like a little like university thing that you can follow in there that makes it very, very simple. But you set up an account with MailChimp, and then you want to get their little form. It's a little snippet of HTML code. They may even have, if you're on WordPress, they for sure have a plugin. They may have one for Blogger too. I'm not 100% sure. But and that puts the little opt-in in your sidebar or wherever you stick it. One thing to say about that is you want to be sure you're offering the opt-in everywhere you can, and you want to be sure you're offering a lead magnet or an ethical bribe, a little freebie, a little something something to get people to sign up for your list. So those are my best email tips. And one of the workshops I'm doing, it's going to be in September, I think, will be about content upgrades, which is what, like I said, a small specific lead magnet that's specific to the blog post it's linked to.
Awesome. Yeah, and I echo that exactly. The MailChimp being probably the easiest place to start off. And yet, for as easy as it is, it's not the most like the best tutorials and things. So sometimes going to YouTube to find some videos for the setup helps. Yeah, and in my summer program, I actually made an 1.5 hour long video for my members going from point A to like done. It literally took an 1.5 hours just to click here, do this, because it's a big undertaking. Like you want to slate a whole weekend to just kind of get it figured out. But once you're rolling with it, you can handle it. It's super easy. It's just that initial setup and figuring out, you know, what does this mean? What does that mean? Click here, click there. But I'm still using it, but I'm on the paid version. Very, very quickly, I realized there was so much more I wanted to do. And so just, you know, for awareness factor, if you want any kind of automation, you do have to start paying. Yeah. And I'm even getting ready to jump ship over to ConvertKit. I think that's a nice.
I've heard a lot of good things about ConvertKit.
Yeah.
Ashley was asking, is it best to email the blog post itself or a whole new content-filled email? Ashley, I didn't have a strong opinion about this until just recently when my mentor talked about the fact that she writes a little email and asks them to click through to the blog post because she wants them to get used to clicking, because she also sells through email. So when she has a product ready, she sells it through email. So she wants to condition people to click on her email. So I think that's a really good way to think about it. If you don't ever sell through email or don't intend to, then it's fine to include the whole blog post. If you do sell through email, a big metric you want to follow is your click-through rate. And so getting people accustomed to clicking on your emails is a wonderful way to do it. So that's how I do it now. I write a short email that says, you know, hey, here's what this week's blog post is about, and here's the link, and ask them to click through to the blog post.
Right. So I have a question as well.
Okay. Since
most of the teacherpreneurs here, most of them have a store in this marketplace. It's very much like Etsy. So they're not going to be doing, like you said, like a big launch sequence for the most part. They have smaller ticket items. Do you think it's better for someone who has smaller price items to be having a tiny little pitch in kind of like every weekly email? Or do you recommend more like content and then pitch here and there? Do you work with others who have those like smaller price items?
Yeah, so if they are very small price, I would say that, yeah, including a little pitch here and there organically where it feels natural is a great idea. Another thing you can do is choose something to launch, quote unquote, each month. So a lot of my customers and students have evergreen businesses. So maybe they're a financial planner or they're a coach of some kind where they always have the same offerings. They don't launch in the traditional way that internet entrepreneurs do. So what I tell them is, excuse me, choose a product and then go through the AIDA sequence for a month. Maybe if you have a whole bunch of small products, it's a category. So maybe let's say you have science curriculum and worksheets. So you just want to do biology for a month, or you just want to focus on earth science for a month, or whatever it might be. You pick a category and focus on it for a month and go through your AIDA sequence. And then it's like you're launching. And I bet you a shiny internet dollar that you will see a big bump in your sales of that particular process, that particular product, because people just need to be reminded of it, really, that it's there.
Yeah, that's great advice. Great advice. Let's see, anything else that I missed?
Yeah, they're talking about don't want to annoy people by constantly promoting your store. I think that's a good inclination, but also remember that you're blogging to sell, right? So if you're not actually at some point mentioning that you have a store and that you sell things, I don't know what you're blogging about. I don't know what you're blogging for. So remember to just make it organic, make it part of the conversation. It doesn't have to be a hard sell. If you're talking about, you know, a topic, you can say, hey, and by the way, I offer this thing which makes it so much easier. And then you're coming from a place of helping rather than selling, and that's much more powerful. Okay, it looks like one last question from Ashley. She says, I know some of the blogs I read offer a freebie to send out to get everyone for signing up. It sends out the automated freebie email. How would this be accomplished? Okay, so that's what Kelly was talking about with automation in MailChimp. Actually, you can do this for free, but the way you do it is MailChimp sends out a confirmation. So if you sign up, they send you a confirmation email that says, hey, did you actually ask to sign up? Click here to confirm. And when then you confirm, and then they send a thank you email. Thank you for signing it up. And you can put in that thank you, you can put your freebie, your download in that thank you email. So you can do it in MailChimp for free. If you want to do any more than that, if you want to do more than one freebie, if you want to do more exciting automations, you do have to get the paid version, but otherwise, that's what it is.
That's the sneaky backdoor way of getting the freebie. And I just actually learned that a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I never realized, but it does work.
Yeah. It does work. It's sort of the cheaters version.
I know. And they don't advertise that you should do it that way, but hey, it works.
Because they want you to pay.
Exactly. So Mrs. Spangler said, sorry, but the payment plan link says two payments of $200. And you're offering the $100 off tonight for the 48-hour deal.
You know what? It sounds like the discount didn't get applied to the payment plan. If you want to do, let me see, how can we handle this? If you want to do the payment plan, I'm going to pop my email in the box. Hi, Lacey at lacybogs.com. If you want to do the payment plan, shoot me an email, and I'll get my gal to set it up. I'm sorry about that. The discount must not have applied to the payment plan as well. But we'll get it set up, and I'll send you a proper link once it gets set up. So if you want to do the payment plan in the next 48 hours, we'll get it done quick. And just shoot me an email, and we'll set it up for you. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, I have kept you guys over an hour, so I'm sure you guys have lives and, you know, dinner and who knows what that you want to get to. So I just want to say thank you so much for those of you who stuck it out and who have stayed to the very bitter end. And if you have questions that I didn't get to, tag me in Kelly's Facebook group, and I will come over and answer them for you. And if there's anything else I can do to help out, come find me at lacybogs.com, or you can join my Facebook groups through there. And oh, Carrie says she loves my bird print. Thank you. That my dad did that. That's my dad watching over me there. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Kelly, I appreciate you especially, and thank you guys so much for everything tonight. I really had a ball.
Oh, well, thank you on behalf of all of us from the Teacherpreneur Tribe. I just feel so blessed by all of the time that you've given us, not only tonight, but throughout the week. Just the way that you've popped in and been such a great helper, answering all those questions and providing so many great resources. Like, we are breaking new ground in the Teacherpreneur Tribe, bringing in a guest expert like you. So,
yay, I'm glad to be
you.
the first one. All right, ladies, yay. I'm gonna shut it down, but thank you so much for your participation. And like I said, shoot me an email if you need the payment plan, tag me in the Facebook group if you've got a question that I didn't get to, and yeah, I'll see you around. Bye.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming.